Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I am joined by my good friend Jerry Beers. Say hello, Jerry.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Jerry is one of our ninja coaches. And what Jerry and I are going to do for you today, we're going to help you out to get you ready for the new year. This is an aspect of business planning. It's a really effective, straightforward exercise. It's going to be a start and stop doing list that Jerry and I are going to help you with so that you can have an incredible 2025. All right. So that'll be the plan. Does that sound like a good plan to you, Jerry?
This sounds like a great plan.
Okay. Terrific. And before that, and I'm sure all of you are definitely anticipating all the things we're going to share with you or give you some great takeaways. Before that, though, we're going to have some fun and give you some quick insights about Jerry's background because it is especially interesting. Jerry, before real estate, you were in law enforcement.
I was 26 years total.
26 years in law enforcement. First of all, Jerry, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. And so tell us what caused you to want to go into law enforcement in the first place.
You know, every little boy wants to be a policeman or fireman, and most are smart enough to outgrow that. I was not. That was a lifelong dream I always wanted to be since I probably 5, 6, 7 years old.
Got it. And you fulfilled that dream. So
absolutely.
Good on you.
Yep.
It's really great. One thing that's really interesting that we'll get to here in a minute is that there are a lot of people in the Ninja Nation who have law enforcement in their background. It's just kind of interesting. So you're one of many.
Yep.
And so tell us where you served.
Well, I started over on the western slope.
Colorado, by the way.
Colorado. All this was in Colorado. Then I worked up in the mountains in a town called Eagle. Then I got hired as a chief of police in a small town outside of Greeley, Colorado. And then my last 11 and a half years was back as a patrolman and then retired as a sergeant for Windsor, Colorado.
Got it. And you spent some time in the latter part of your law enforcement career in a management and training and also a coaching role. Is that right?
Absolutely. So majority of the career, I had some type of role as an instructor, field training officer, and then in leadership was the majority. So I'd probably say around 90% of that career had some capacity of coaching, instructing, training, leading.
Got it.
Along that.
Got it. Okay, everyone, fun fact, Jerry has been shot. And now I use the word fun. That's typically not used with being shot, but you're okay from that?
Yes, yes.
And everyone, if you want to hear that full story, come to Colorado, buy Jerry a beer. He will tell you that fun in that is a good outcome, fascinating, kind of wild story. We're so glad that you're okay. Jerry, what do you think it is about law or about real estate that is attractive to people who are in law enforcement? Because again, it's fascinating to me just how many ninjas there are in the Ninja Nation who have that as their background, especially the highly productive ones. There are many, many highly productive real estate agents, highly productive ninjas who have law enforcement in their background. So why is that, do you think, Jerry?
I think that there, as individuals who want to transition, they see, law enforcement's very structured, very disciplined. A lot of people are looking for a little bit of a change to that. So they don't want to necessarily have that. We're not one of those jobs where, hey, if you show up 5 minutes late, no big deal. It was, you had to be there early because the other guys can't go home until you're there or nobody's there working and you cannot have a city or area unprotected. So I think it takes some of that responsibility off of us, but lets us still run our own business. And I think that it's a good transition for us because we can still use the disciplines we learned in law enforcement to keep going. We still get to serve people just in a different way.
Right, exactly. So that kind of leads me to my next question. And that is, what was it about law enforcement for you that you were able to apply but both to real estate and also to coaching? Like, can you think about specific things that you learned as a police officer that you now can apply in a real estate business, or that you use when you coach people?
The biggest thing is we learn how to work with all different kinds of people. We deal with, in law enforcement, we deal with such a multitude of individuals, all different personalities, all going through different walks of life, all having, could be something along the line of they're suffering, or they're dealing in a bad thing, or they're dealing in a good thing. And I think that allows us, when we start working with our clients, or in my case with coaching, I can work with all different personalities, all different types, and I can adapt and move to what they need.
Got it. You were taught to meet people
Correct.
where they're at, is what's coming up for me.
That would be accurate.
Yeah. Got it. And that's definitely a philosophy, an approach that we have in coaching. Meet the client where they're at, and it's something we coach our clients on. Definitely something that we're all taught in Ninja. Meet that real estate client where they're at by asking really great questions and using the platinum rule. Communicate to people how they want to be communicated to. So all those things were being taught to you in law enforcement.
Absolutely. In my last few weeks, I was asked to train, and I was the most senior sergeant when I retired. They asked me there was a new officer who was getting promoted, not to take my spot, but for a different position, and asked me to, give the wisdom or whatever. And one of the things I explained to him is you have to learn the personalities of all the people you supervise, because you cannot talk to everybody the same way to get the same result you need.
Right. Exactly. And that sounds like working with a real estate client.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
With a coaching client. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
You go through power, party, peace, perfection.
Yes.
You're going to talk to them all differently.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long ago did you leave law enforcement and then go into real estate?
I retired at the end of September 2015 and started in real estate at the end of November 2015.
Okay. Got it. So we're recording this in December 2024. So
Yes.
9 years ago.
Yep.
So happy 9 years. And we're all grateful that you made that transition. So let's transition, Jerry, to giving some people takeaways on helping them to have a great 2025. So again, we're going to use this really effective, powerful framework, which is the stop and start doing list. I'm pretty sure this was originally coined by Jim Collins, who is the author of Good to Great. In that book, he talks about the stop doing list. So you can have a stop doing list, you can have a start doing list. Jerry and I are gonna trade off giving you some takeaways. And so what we want you to do is write these down, except if you're driving, don't write them down. And make note of these, apply these in your business, add these to the stop and start doing list that you've already created, likely, to help you plan for a great 2025. You need to know, no surprise, this is coming from our visibility, our understanding of our coaching clients and us watching them and what's working, all the coaching that we're doing with our hundreds of clients. So this is using them as kind of the experiment, the laboratory, and you get to learn from this. So Jerry, you're going to go first, and you kind of have a high level take on the concept of the stop and start doing list, which I think is really good. And I think is a perfect place to start. So share that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing, before you stop doing something, you need to analyze why you're going to stop doing that. If it's something that didn't work, why didn't it work? Did you not give it its full effort? For example, if you say, well, I'm going to stop using a CRM. Well, did you actually use the CRM? And if the answer is no, then the answer isn't the CRM's problem. The problem is you're not using the systems.
Got it.
So before you stop doing anything, you need to analyze why it didn't work and why you want to stop doing it.
Jerry, I love that. So maybe it's stop being too quick to stop something.
Correct. Yes.
start like fully analyzing, fully being aware of what level of effort did you put into it? What level of planning did you put into it? How much intention was there in the first place? Was that at a level 10?
Right.
Before you're going to give up on something.
Yeah. If you say, well, I'm going to stop farming this neighborhood. Okay. Well, what did you do? Well, I sent out 2 postcards in 2 years. Okay. Shocker. It probably didn't work. So maybe we need to retool that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So whether it be a CRM or farming initiative and any kind of a flow initiative, those things take time. Did you give it enough time?
Yep.
So I think that is a perfect way to start. So you're going to stop being too quick to stop something.
Yeah.
Jerry, that's your first takeaway. Really, really good. My first takeaway for all of you is to stop giving yourself a hard time and start giving yourself some grace. Jerry and I see it all the time in coaching. All of our coaches see this often in coaching. I hear it when I attend Ninja installations. I meet with other people. People, because we're human beings, because we're people, we are quick to give ourselves a hard time. And we think that that's the right thing to do. We think that that's us holding ourselves to a higher standard. But really what that's doing is that's getting in the way of us performing like we could perform because we're so caught up in giving ourselves a hard time. So what you focus on expands. And so if we're focused on our shortcomings and our gaps and how we're not doing what we quote should be doing, then that's just going to expand. And then we really have no chance to make progress and get in front of it. And so what I encourage all of you to do, again, just stop giving yourself a hard time, start giving yourself some grace, and still hold yourself to a high standard and expect a lot of yourself, but you're not going to get there by a whole lot of self-harassment.
No, not at all.
And Jerry, I'm sure you that comes up for you in coaching that you do with your clients, and
it does. They and part of that is they also don't feel like they can feel good about maybe something that they've done. And kind of the reverse. They're hard on themselves for something, but also not patting themselves on the back for some good successes, out of fear of looking too bolstery or anything like that.
Yes. So that would be maybe like a bonus start celebrating the wins, because we're quick to give ourselves a hard time, and we are quick to not give ourselves those accolades when we should. Okay, really good. Okay, your turn.
So
go ahead.
So my next one would be stop comparing your success to others and start focusing on your own success. Too often we try to go, well, that individual, they just made X, or they just bought a new car, or they just got a new house. Well, maybe that was their goal. Maybe your goal, you're fine with the house you have. You're not looking to get a bigger house, but that was that person's goal. So let them enjoy their goals and their success, and just focus on, look at your life list. And if you're hitting the things on your life list and having a new house is not on the life list, great for the person who got it. Look at what you're doing in your own and focus on the things that are in your life list, and not worry about if that person got number 2 in the company or you got number 3 or something like that. It's fun to have that kind of competitiveness with some friends, but don't get so absorbed into it that it starts bringing you down and putting you into a lack of abundance.
That's right.
Mindset.
I'm thinking about Mastery, the essay Mastery that I'm guessing everyone's familiar with. One-page essay by Stuart Emery that says, "Correct, don't protect," and talks about comparing yourself to others, which is never a good plan.
Never.
So learn from them, be inspired by them. Say, "Gosh, if they can do it, I can do it." But don't caught up in compare and despair. I've heard some other.
Yes, I love that. Yes,
no comparing and despairing. Okay, good. I think we're doing good so far, Jerry. This is great. Here's one for me. Stop making things complicated that don't need to be complicated, and start making things easier on yourself. Now, look, there are certain aspects of the transaction that are definitely complicated, and that's why the client is hiring you, the expert, to help them through these complicated transactions. But the business itself, and the business attraction, the attraction of clients, doesn't need to be complicated. There's a ninja who is here at the Group Real Estate in Fort Collins, Colorado. His name is Dave Trujillo. He has this great quote. He says, "This business is only complicated if you let it be complicated." Yes. So don't let it be complicated. And the specific thing on my mind, and I'm guessing is also going to be on your mind, Jerry, is real estate reviews. This is the thing that is most commonly overcomplicated. And it's like this fabricated complication. People turn it into a complicated exercise, a complicated strategy, but where in truth, in reality, it can be a very simple strategy. So don't overcomplicate real estate reviews. Make them easy, make them simple, make them even shorter, put even more simple, straightforward information in there. It can be one page. It can
Absolutely.
be one page that's your company generated infographic about statistics on the market. It's coming from your MLS, your board of realtors. It's coming from Focus First. It can be one page. It can be very, very simple. And it's a gift. It's a gift to the client to give them any kind of insight about what's happening in the market. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it complicated, which then becomes an excuse not to do it.
Absolutely. You get bogged down into how looking for the perfect real estate review and trying to get it. I can tell you my real estate reviews evolved over the years to, I would see a little bit better. Okay, that's a great idea. And I do that. And what I originally gave out to what I would give out today are not even close to it. But it's a matter of getting something, putting it together, provide the value, and get it to the people in your world.
Yep, exactly. This is a chance, everyone, to give a quick commercial for Ninja Coaching, because in January, we are going to be running a real estate review challenge. So we're going to kick off the month with giving people really extensive, really in-depth webinar about all the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts of real estate reviews. We're going to show people examples. We're doing that January 6th. And then for the month, we're giving all of our coaching clients a challenge to get out there and do real estate reviews. We're going to have fun with it, have prizes. Everyone's in it together. So if you struggled with real estate reviews, this is your chance to get some help. Just get signed up for a complimentary coaching consultation, and we can tell you all about our real estate review challenge. Okay, so Jerry, you're next. I think you have one more to share.
I do. I have one more. And this actually came up through one of my coaching clients. He kind of hit me with a question while I was at the gym one morning. And anybody who coaches with me or knows me in the world, I love working out. And some of my analogies go back to the gym. So I apologize for that. But he had messaged me that, he'd been doing some of the processes and he knows it takes time, but he didn't, he just was kind of needed a kickstart on that mindset again. And it was perfect timing because there's an individual, great guy. I've actually gotten to know him a little bit there at the gym. But when he started there, every time he would do a set of anything, curls or whatever, he would walk right up to the mirror and flex like that set was going to be the set that just Incredible Hulk now size. And I would kind of chuckle with it. And it went perfectly into this. In order to grow in anything you do or see the results, it takes consistency and time. Nothing happens overnight. No matter how much I go to the gym and work out, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time of anybody to do something over time and be consistent with it and understand that. Don't expect you went out and gave out one postcard in your neighborhood and all of a sudden business is going to come rushing. Continue to do it, continue to work it, and understand it takes time.
It takes time. So start being patient, start playing the long game.
Yep.
And start seeing the effect of compounding over time and stop expecting immediate results.
Exactly.
It's just not going to happen. So real estate reviews we were just talking about, part of the Ninja 9 is to do 2 real estate reviews a week. So if someone said, oh, okay, I'm doing 2 this week and they did 2 and that was it, it could be worse things to do it. And that's great. But it's not about doing 2. It's about the fact that over the course of, let's say, 50 weeks in a year, 2 a week, that's 100.
Yes.
It's about 100 real estate reviews and the cumulative effect of that. So you have to play the long game. You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger after doing 10 curls. You have to do thousands of curls, but you can do that.
Absolutely.
Over time.
Absolutely. And, as we even just in what we say in Ninja is what we do today plants the seed for 90 days out. So, I mean, on some of the things we're minimum even 90 days out, but that could even be longer. Just, you never know when it comes, but it's just staying in the game, knowing it's a long game and enjoying it.
Just keep going.
And keep going and enjoy what you're doing with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jerry, I think that's a good one to finish on.
Yeah.
We can put a period on that, put a bow on top. Everyone, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in and listening to the podcast. Jerry, thank you for being here today.
It's a great honor to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really an honor that all of you are so engaged with the podcast. We hear really, really nice feedback from ninjas out there. So we appreciate the feedback and also any ideas for topics that you would really like to be covered. We are wide open to those suggestions. We are here to help you and serve you and help make your business even better, add value to you. You're listening to this in December, so enjoy the holidays if you celebrate the holidays, and enjoy the new year. Make the most out of this time of year. Happy almost New Year, and we'll see everyone real soon on the next podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.